Wisconsin Democratic Senate candidate Mandela Barnes absent from President Biden's speech in Milwaukee, making him the latest Democrat to avoid campaign help from the president.
Yeah, the Senate candidates team released a statement saying the lieutenant governor appreciates the president coming to Wisconsin to honor the labor movement in our state. Mandela walked in the Milwaukee parade and then went to support Wisconsin workers at events across the state. So he was busy when the president was in Wisconsin. Former Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee joins us now to react. Governor, good morning to you. So the president's message for the past few weeks has been that MAGA Republicans are terrible, but at the same time, people in his own party are staying away from him.
Yeah, you know, it's like Joe Biden has political cooties right now. Nobody wants to get near him because they're afraid they'll catch it. I think that speech that he gave at Independence Hall last week was such a disaster that people now are fearful that they're going to get tagged with something if they show up with Joe Biden. That's normally a very unusual situation because typically if you have a sitting president, his presence brings so much attention, so much focus on your race that you're thrilled to have a president show up and the imagery of Air Force One and all the trappings of the presidency. When the candidates from the president's own party start running from him like rats off a burning ship, it says that they're looking at their poll numbers, and it's not pretty.
Governor, Joe Biden walked back some of his comments from the red light speech and then did this, which is the exact opposite of walking back. Listen.
The extreme MAGA Republicans in Congress have chosen to go backwards, full of anger, violence, hate, and division. But together, we can and we must choose a different path.
Okay, obviously the takeaway is, one, this is who Joe Biden is. This is how he feels. And that walk back on Friday was not worth the paper that it was written on. How big of a political misstep, Governor, is this when it comes to trying to court those independents who want some civility and, quite frankly, who want our economy to get back to normal, who want the border to get back to normal, who want a sense of normalcy in our nation?
Well, I think he just totally misread the American public. That speech was, I believe, one of the worst ever in presidential history. You know, my own, I guess, history of listening to presidents goes all the way back to Eisenhower, for gosh sake. I've never heard a speech quite like that delivered by a president, even in the midst of a campaign where he gave that level of insult. Now he's trying to differentiate between the MAGA extreme Republicans, but he doesn't say what that is. I mean, basically, he said, if you voted for Trump, you're one of these people. But he's also filled with things that are demonstrably untrue when he says that Republicans want to take your Social Security away. I would remind people that Donald Trump was the candidate who adamantly said he did not want to change the Social Security formula for the people who had already paid in their money. And he was clear about that was money that the workers owned and earned, and it shouldn't be messed with. So when Joe Biden says stuff like that, I mean, I wonder, where's the press corps in Washington? These are simple things that can be checked out. It's like the internet lives forever, but Joe Biden's memory doesn't live for 30 seconds or more.
At the same time, Governor, in Wisconsin and Pennsylvania, the two Democratic candidates running for Senate are right now polling better than the Republican challengers, according to the Real Clear Politics average. And overall, Democrats are faring a bit better than they were earlier this year. Why do you think that's happening?
Because I don't think the Republicans have done a very good job of the message. Republicans need to focus on gasoline, groceries, and God and stick to it. Don't deviate. Just remind people that the way the Democrats have managed means their cost of fuel is up substantially, and even though it's gone down a little, it's not where it was when we were energy independent, and it's not going to be. Secondly, we need to focus on the day-to-day cost of doing just our household duties, and groceries cost more. The inflation of Joe Biden. And the third thing, the whole idea of God. Joe says we're fighting for the soul of our country. We sure are, because one party believes that you just let fentanyl come in across the border, walk it across, and and then that you have 4- and 5-year-olds being taught sex by the public schools, and tell the parents of those kids, it's none of your business what we're doing with your kids. Shut up and get out, and if you complain, you're a domestic terrorist and we'll stick the FBI on you. That's what the Republicans have to focus on. Keep it simple, keep it focused. They win in November. If they deviate from that, I think we could have a much closer election.
Hear the advice from Governor Mike Huckabee here on Fox and Friends First. Governor, it's always a pleasure.
He's won elections before.
Thank you. He knows what he's doing.
He knows what
Governor,
he's talking about.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.